Dark, dingy, and old is exactly how I would describe it. Not worth much, and most certainly not interesting. However, my great-grandma didn't see it as that. My great-grandma, Cherry Munson, more commonly known to us as Gigi, owned a little museum in Warwick, North Dakota, which was filled with artifacts and historical items from everywhere. Well, maybe not everywhere. She did have interesting things, an even more interesting name to her museum, and a daughter to carry on her love for the interesting things in that museum. My grandma, Cherry, Gigi's only daughter, gave me this pencil as a birthday gift. At first, I didn't quite see what the meaning of it was until I looked a little bit closer at what the name said. On it, it reads, Munson Trucking Service, Warwick, North Dakota, phone 63-2, which obviously means that it's a really old pencil. My great-grandma's husband used to own a trucking company and had his own pencils made especially for him. This pencil was only one of many in my grandma's museum called Bren or Sum. The little museum wasn't named ironically. The first four letters, B-R-E-N, stand for the counties Benson, Ramsey, Eddy, and Nelson, and the rest stands for or some other place. Some of the things my great-grandma had in her museum came from California. In her museum, my great-grandma had history books, tons of history books, arrowheads, Indian artifacts, an authentic Indian headdress, an ostrich egg, numerous mounted owls, snakeskins, tons and tons of vinyl records, and many, many other historical things. Alongside the artifacts, she had a wooden peg leg and an old antique dental chair. I'm assuming she got the peg leg from fighting off the pirates. When my sister and I were really little, we'd go visit my grandma's museum with the rest of my family. We loved learning about the history of North Dakota and everything else that was in my grandma's museum. We loved learning about how the owls were killed, where this baby deer came from, which, ironically, came from the stomach of a pregnant deer that was hit by a car. The baby was salvaged out of the deer's stomach and then mounted and kept in my grandma's museum. My sister and I loved the dental chair, which was really creepy in all actuality. It was very interesting to look at, though. All of the history books my grandma still has. My grandma still has the Indian headdress, and I've worn it. And this pencil, even it being one of the smallest items that my grandma had, has so much meaning to me. In conclusion, my great-grandma had such a love for history, and she was probably very, very proud of her daughter for carrying it on. My great-grandma is one of the most interesting and most important people who was in my life. My great-grandma unfortunately died of lung cancer when I was very, very young, so I did not get to spend much time in the museum because we eventually cleared it out. However, my grandma still continues to show us the arrowheads and the dresses and everything that was kept in there, despite the wooden peg leg, which I'm sure she gave back to the pirates that my grandma won it from. Anyways, thank you for watching and listening about my antique pencil.